Well, I'll be damned. Well, let me start with this. I don't want to jump right into the Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts' performance just yet. Can I start with bashing the Saints first? Listen, I understand that y'all had no footage whatsoever on Jalen Hurts as a starter in the NFL. I mean, the Philadelphia Eagles have ran trick plays with him before, but let's be realistic. Y'all knew who the starting quarterback was going to be coming into this game. Looks like you didn't prepare whatsoever for his mobility. I'm sorry, you got no pressure. For a mobile quarterback, for a running quarterback, you got zero pressure. You ran what looked like a zone most of the game, and the one play that I can actually recall y'all ran man, Alshon Jeffrey beat the cornerback to in the end zone, the corner in the end zone. Shout out to Jalen Hurts because that was a hell of a pass. Saints fans, no more. Y'all should not get on any other team in the NFL, especially not the Cowboys. Y'all have to let go of that because y'all are now just as much a disappointment as the Dallas Cowboys. Y'all have these hot runs. Y'all have one of the best seedings, if not the best seeding in the NFC every other year. And what do y'all do with it? Most of y'all's games have been first round exit. Y'all have had blunders as far as referees blowing calls, but y'all have also had blunders as far as all you had to do was tackle him to win the game. Stephon Diggs takes it 70 plus yards to the house. So no more excuses. On to more important teams. Fly, Eagles, fly. Listen, don't believe the gas. Y'all are not more important than the New Orleans Saints. But I would like to start with Doug Pederson. Listen, you put two young quarterbacks in a very bad situation. From here forth, it needs to be known, guaranteed, that Hurts is now the starter. Not because of the win, but because you can't do that. You can't have him come in against a red-hot Saints team, get a win, and sometime during the season, you only got 3 games left, sometime during the rest of the season, put Carson Wentz back. It won't make sense. Now, you got the win, but you're not off the hook. You got the win, so nobody else cares but me, apparently, and that's completely fine. So you got the spark that you wanted, and you got your team for the first game that I've seen them play all season long. You got them to fight for 4 quarters. So I guess you get some type of achievement check. Mr. Hurts, do me a favor, step into my office for me real quick. Yeah, man, go ahead, have a seat. Sit down. Would you like a drink? Because you're going to need one. I'm telling you now, just because we have the same barber and the same haircut does not mean I'm supposed to be friendly about this. Mr. Hurts, because of comments I have said in the past about Lamar Jackson, it has been said that I have a stigma. I've created a stigma for black quarterbacks. I want you to know that that's not true. I specifically said certain things about Lamar Jackson and players like Michael Vick who played extremely similar to him. But for you, I would have started you against the Cardinals. I still stand behind what I said in my last video. Well, I understand you got the win. Now, calm down. What I'm telling you is, though, the Cardinals would have been a better look. Now, if you get to play the Cardinals next week and you look like hot garbage, I still stand behind what I'm saying. It was just better as far as an opportunity to do what you were supposed to have been doing. Now, you went and got the win, but you threw 56%. You only threw 167 yards. Had a TD. Now, I will say this. That TD, there was an Alshon Jeffrey sighting during that game. That TD that you threw, it shows that you have great potential to have patience and poise in the pocket, number 1. Number 2, you trust your receiver because he was covered. Cornerback just never got his head around to make a play on the ball. That was a hell of a throw. I'm not upset with that at all, but understand something. I want you to be different from Lamar Jackson. I want you to be able to win games not only when you're up 17-0, but when you're down 17 points as well. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's all I ask. You may leave. You are dismissed. Listen, my biggest takeaway from this game was the simple fact that there are still players on the Philadelphia Eagles that are fighting for their job. There wasn't anything that was overly impressive. I did like the fight that they had. I mean, you get to the third quarter, beginning of the fourth, and you start losing defensive player after defensive player, and it just seemed like the momentum was in the Saints' favor to just come back and get that game. So, pat on the back for closing it out, but I remember going into a halftime, Daryl Moose Johnston, shout out Moose, said that this isn't the same team I've been watching all season. This isn't the same team that was blocking for Carson Wentz. This isn't the same team that was playing defense for Carson Wentz. Now, again, Carson Wentz has not been perfect. He has had plenty of blemishes. If we're being completely honest, his game looked much like what your boy what Jalen Hurts did tonight. The only exception is Carson Wentz has never run for 100 yards in a game. He's not as athletic as Jalen Hurts. So that's a pass. But once again, I say there was nothing glamoring about the game itself. Listen, for the Philadelphia Eagles fans or the Jalen Hurts fans or Lamar Jackson fan, whatever fan you are, if you're upset, you're irate because of what I said, and it was only factual. If you're upset at what I said, let me tell you this. Jalen Hurts played a hell of a game as an athlete. He played a subpar game as a quarterback. There's a huge difference. Listen, if you want to take his body of work combined, yes, he did one of the best games so far this season. No question. It was the best game by a Philadelphia Eagles quarterback this season if we're taking his complete body of work. But understand something. That is built to win regular season games. There is a difference. Unfortunately, we will not get to see him play in the playoffs this season. We might not get to see him play in the playoffs next season. I don't know. All I'm telling you is when he gets there, my hopes are not high for this style of play. It has not changed. McNair, Warren Moon, Michael Vick, Lamar Jackson, Tim Tebow, RG3, anybody else that you can name. How many of them have been successful in the playoffs with this style of play? Now, again, some of the quarterbacks that I named, even Cam Newton, have gone. Cam Newton, Donovan McNabb were the only two off the top of the head I can think of with something similar to what Jalen Hurts has now, style of play, that have been to a Super Bowl. Eventually, you have to pass the ball. Playing ahead won't always be the case when you get to the playoffs. So what happens when you have to play down? Even better, what happens when you have to play down by double digits? What can you do then? So when y'all say, oh, hey, I'm just hating and I have to give him time to develop, I'll give him time to develop. But don't tell me how great he is right now. I understand he's a great athlete. But when will he become an upper echelon quarterback? Can he put both together? Can he be a legendary runner and a legendary passer? Have we ever seen it before? I didn't think so. So don't tell me I'm hating. You have to make it make sense. He won the game. We'll pat him on the back. If he wins next week and the week after that and the week after that, he'll go 4-0 on the season as a starting quarterback. And what will he have to show for it next season? It's about playoff wins. If you can't win in the playoffs, consistent playoff wins. If you can't win in the playoffs, what are we talking about? Okay, I had to zoom in a little bit because this is where it gets personal. Mr. Hurts, know that if you can put together games throughout your career within a season, well, I'm not going to say just specifically next season. I'm going to say within seasons, if you can put together 250, 300-yard games, multiple games, if you can put together by 66% completion, 25-plus touchdowns, 12 or fewer interceptions, and that's very lenient. And understand, 12 or fewer interceptions. Carson Wentz did 33-7 in the season. So again, that was their Super Bowl team. I understand, but that you're never going to see a defense that great. You're never going to see your run game that great again. Only if you're involved in it. So if you're the second leading rusher on the team in the season, then okay. But you need to be comfortable with playing from behind. That's the only way you are seen as a top tier or upper echelon quarterback. Now, there'll be a lot of hype behind your name because you will win a lot of regular season games. I promise you that. You will win a lot of regular season games. But if you are uncomfortable, if you are unable to win games from behind, it is all for naught. We are talking about playoffs. That's what's most important. We're talking about playoffs, not regular season wins. So I pat you on the back. I commend you for an excellent athletic performance in your first win. I hope that you get many more. I hope that you have a healthy career because I don't want y'all calling me no hater. I just don't see it. I haven't seen it yet, so I just don't see it. You have to make it make sense at the end of the day. Are you drunk yet?